folks. Thanks for joining me today. Before we get started on the tutorial that's happening right now, I wanted to express my gratitude to the first 100 subscribers to my channel. I am just absolutely thrilled and so happy that I have 100 people that are interested in what I do. It's very humbling, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it and how worthwhile it is to me. So, having said that, let's get on to this tutorial. So this one's just a simple one that I wanted to do. I've wanted to do this for a while, but never had the opportunity. And I thought, hey, this is a perfect one. So what I'm doing, it's a small oval mold that I got from the Happy Dotting Company. If you're interested, please go to my description below. There is a link to her shop, and she has all sorts of different types of molds that you can use to make your own rocks in different shapes, different sizes. She's just amazing. So go and check out the Happy Dotting Company. So what I've done is I started off with my base coat of black, and in hindsight, I should have maybe done white, but what I do is once my rocks have cured for a few days, I paint them all black. So it's like a primer, and I don't always know what I'm going to be using them for, so they're always black. But anyways, I wanted to give this the essence of water, like underwater. So I started with a base coat of the blue, and I put it on rather thick with my paintbrush, and then I sponged it out. Then once it was dry, I put on another base coat of the same blue and then added stripes of white. Now you would have already seen that, and then I sponged it on with my blending brush that I used. And now what I'm doing is I'm going over top of that again with the blue and then sponging on some white. Now, I did this very haphazardly. I didn't make sure that it had extreme coverage because I wanted the different depths of the color to come through. So that's what I've been doing. Just using my sponges, just using some paintbrushes, and just getting a really nice looking background. And I just continue this until I'm happy. And then I draw on my design. Now you can see I'm kind of faking it here because I've already drawn it because I forgot to press play or press record. So here I am pretending to draw it again. And what it is a couple of seahorses. And I've always wanted to do seahorses. They're such a majestic creature in the ocean, and they just sort of mill around, mind their own business, and just majestic. They're so beautiful. So I had to paint them. I finally decided to do it. So I do it as a silhouette because, again, I seem to be drawn to the silhouette kind of painting. Focus more on the background, and then I do the outline in black and color it in or paint it in with black paint. And I just do it because I just love the way that it looks. It really makes the imagery pop when it's on the silhouette, but the background is so important on how it's done to give it the element of where these images belong. So that's why I spent so much time on the background and now putting on the details of the seahorses. If you like this tutorial, please let me know by giving me the thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this content, make sure you subscribe. And if you don't want to miss anything when I post, hit that bell and you'll get a notification every time I post a new video. I'm also very interested in what you want me to do, like what you would like to watch me paint. So leave me a comment below as to ideas that you have. If you want to see some kind of a subject matter, like I go to a lot of craft shows, and one of the biggest requests I get is turtles. So I'm planning on doing a tutorial on painting turtles, but that's just one. What about what you want to see? I'm really interested in that. I also do natural stones where I paint sceneries on them. So living in Northern Ontario, I have a vast majority of photo opportunities around me with lakes and wilderness and moose and bear, all sorts of stuff that's really interesting. And I'm constantly taking pictures, and I use those pictures as inspiration. And that's what I paint on my natural stones. What I like about the natural stones that I paint on is that they're very odd shaped, but they're pretty flat. So I can put a scenery in it. So it's framed actually by the natural stone. So if you're interested in seeing one of those as a tutorial, let me know in the comments below. I'm really interested to know what you as the viewer want to see more of, or want to see me attempt to do, or just whatever. I'm yours. You tell me what you want to see, and I will do my best to bring that to you. I'm always up for a challenge, and I love just trying to push myself a little extra more, especially if it's something that you're looking for. So leave me a comment below. Let me know what it is that you would like to see, and I'll try to do it up for you. If you have watched any of my other tutorials, you'll know that even though I put down a pattern or the design that I want, I draw it on, I rarely follow it. So there's always some part of the design that I change as I go along when I'm painting. Perfect example is the tails on these seahorses. So you'll see at the bottom, originally when I drew it, it just came to a point. Like we'll call it the girl, the one on the right. Um, her tail just comes to an end, where the male's tail or the boy's tail curls. And I really like the curl, but I didn't draw it on. So I have to freehand it and use my mind's eye to create that. And that's okay. So and that's what I end up doing. Eventually I go back to the tail that doesn't have the curl, and I put a curl on it because seahorses do have curls at the end of their tails. So I had to put that in there. So I tried to make them look different, so that they did resemble sort of like boy girl, male female. So one is bigger than the other, and with the girl one, I do put some eyelashes on it, even though I know that's not realistic. It's just the cartoony side of me, and it makes it look a little bit more of a girl. So I do that, and here I am putting that curl on that I was talking about, and it just makes it look like they're happy to be together, and everything's going great under the water. Now, what I didn't notice when I was drawing this, but I noticed it when I was editing, is that there's an optical illusion in this painting. I'm not going to tell you what it is. What I would like for you to do is when you see it, I want you to put a comment down below and let me know what it is that you see. For me, now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it. But I want you to see if you can see the same thing that I'd see. So that's the challenge for this particular video. I would like you to see if you can find the optical illusion that was not planned in this, but is a happy kind of like, wow, that I didn't even plan that. And let me know in the comments below. What do you see? So I go ahead and I start putting bubbles on, and I started using my paintbrush, and I did a round circle, or as close to a circle as I could, with my paintbrush, and I didn't like it. So I got my nail stylus out and I dotted them. So this way I'm showing you that even though you may start to do something one way and it doesn't look the greatest, it's okay. You can go back, you can fix it, you can change it. If you don't like the color, paint over it. You don't have to just stop and try to fix what you're doing. Think of another way to get the same result. And that's what I did here. And then the ideas really started coming forth when I was dotting these. I thought some of these can have some metallic paint inside of them. Some of them can have gems. So I end up putting some gems on these as well. So uh, just because it didn't work out the way you had planned it in the first place doesn't mean you have to stop. Just think about another way that you can get the same result and continue forward. So I have the bigger dots, and then I sort of did like what I do with walking the dots. I don't reload my tool, and I dot, and then I just dot and dot. And the dots do automatically get smaller because there's less paint on your tool. Then I went and got a smaller nail stylist and put really tiny dots in between the bigger dots just to fill it in. Now I'm putting on some of those dots with the metallic paint. Now, all of my paint colors and the brands are listed in my description below, so go check that out. But you don't have to use what I use. This is just what I have available in my stash. Definitely use whatever you have. Change the background color, do whatever you want. This is just to give you inspiration. So this is just another look here at putting the dots on, and I'm not filling in the entire white because I want the bubbles to look like they're floating up. So I just put the glitter paint on the lower part. And I think that it turned out really well. Like it's still um, I'm still working on trying to perfect my bubbles. There's been a lot of tutorials out there on YouTube that I've been watching to try to learn how to do them. But this was the way I wanted them on this particular stone. And you can tell by the way that I'm holding it, the stone isn't actually that big. So it is something that you don't have a lot of room to play around with, and it does get finicky when you get into a smaller stone. But it was fun to do. So now what I'm doing is I'm just adding some triple thick as my glue to put on 5 gems, and they're a very light blue color, and they glitter so beautifully. So I thought it was perfect to put them on. So I basically have like one more step to do. I've got to clean up the edges on this and add a little frame. So instead of using gold paint, I decided I would change it up and I would use a pewter color. And it's a metallic and adds this nice dark color that goes, it's a nice transition basically from the blue to the black. And it has this really nice shine to it. So I just do this all the way around, clean up my edges, and I make it look really pretty. There's so many things you could do with the edges on this. You could put more gems on it. You could do some dotting. But I just wanted to keep it simple. Um, I love how it turned out. It's just so beautiful. And yeah, I think that the color choice of using pewter was good. Instead of using, you could use silver if you wanted. I'm not saying don't use gold. I just wanted to try a different, a different metallic color. And this is what I did, and this is what I got. So I'm very pleased with how it turned out, and I hope you are too. And if you do try it, let me know. I'd love to see your rendition of this. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it, so get creative.